Hi everyone, I'm Jackie Jensen. We're here in my recording studio, and I am here with the legendary Tommy Bull. Tommy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And this is little cute Percy.
Little Percy, my sidekick.
Such a doll. I love him.
He'll be traveling with me.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, everywhere.
I love that. So he's on set with you too.
He'll be on set with me, absolutely.
So cute. We love animals here.
Right in the director's chair with me.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. He's gonna help Daddy direct.
Oh.
God, he's gonna be like this. What are you saying that for?
Tommy, I am just enthralled to have you here. I love the fact that you're a creator. I love that you love this country. I love that you are just all around good vibes. I know you were a director of how many episodes on Miami Vice?
17.
17. That is incredible.
Yeah.
And I know you're working on some new projects.
Several, yeah. One's a Western. I have an album to put together with a phenomenal band, a new band that came together from other different groups. And I'm going to direct their music videos and set up everything in the studio for that. And then from the Western, I have an action film, which I wrote, Deadly Package, that I'm going to redo. I wrote it 30 years ago.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so, it stands the test of time. They want to do it.
What inspires you when you're writing scripts? Are you inspired by traveling, places, people?
I try to write for a budget.
Okay.
So, locations, and if you have 30 locations, it's going to cost you an awful lot more on a budget. For instance,
right.
If you have 70 actors in the script, that's going to cost you a whole lot of money because everybody's got, even day plays have SAG rates and benefits to it. So you got to write to what budget. If you're going to do an $8 million budget, a $20 million budget,
right.
You have to write it within that type of scale.
What would be your ideal budget?
Well, it depending on the cast. If some things, like for instance, if I was going to do a thriller or horror, I don't need to have big name actors in it.
No, yeah.
It sells itself.
Right.
It's all about the timing,
plot.
suspense, and that kind of stuff, story.
Mm-hmm.
And so it depends on the type of film. The Western I'm doing is a lot more money because it's a period piece.
Right. And
then
that's
I have
what period
horses.
exactly? It's like...
It's going to be late, I said it for late 1800s, early 1900s.
Oh, I love that.
And then you have horses. Horses, okay, but they're not always going to do what you want them to do when you want them to do it.
That's right.
So now you have, you got to add all these things and put everything in there accordingly to fit what you're doing, the type of film that you're doing. Action, same thing. You have more cameras. It's more time consuming to design the fight segments and the stunts and things like that.
Right.
If you're doing a love story, a whole different ballgame.
That's awesome. That's so great.
So
starting out, what was the first project that you directed?
Oh, wow. I was acting at the same time. I was doing different things from movie of the weeks to after school TV specials. They had those going on. And so I was working as an actor doing those things while I was working into direct. So I took 5 months when I came out here. I won the world title championship fight, and I had a lot of money. So I came out to start learning the industry, and I thought there's no better way than to get in with, when you work as an extra, you are on set with a different director all the time.
Right.
Every day.
Right.
So I took my notebooks, a folding chair, I studied everything.
So you started out just doing extra work?
I just take everything
Any
on
way to
set,
get in, yeah.
5 months.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know, it wasn't a way for me to get in, it was a way for me to learn.
Right,
I didn't care about the rest of it. I wanted to make sure I was going to venture to something I really wanted to do.
See, and I can relate because as making music, I love doing both things. I love being the artist and writing the music, but I also love being on the other side of it with engineering and recording and working with other artists. So I think it's really cool that you all the while I've been, working with other artists and going to shows and around other artists, I've always wrote stuff down. Don't you think that's so critical to learning, to be able to write things down?
You should be able to write things down. You're going to retain so much, especially if you're involved in an element with a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Now you're absorbed in the energy and not so much everything else as well in detail.
Right.
You write it down, you capture that energy back into your brain, and then you have things that you can relate to on paper that you can see. It's okay, now it's clicking together.
That's
that
right.
Kind of stuff,
So to my audience, I want to say we all have iPhones nowadays. Some of you might not use your notebooks, but you can just take out your phone whenever you're around somebody legendary like Tommy Bull, or you're in a situation where you're new, or maybe you're on set, you've never done this before. Just always take notes. I think that is one thing that I'm really grateful for, is that I've always taken notes and things, and you never know when you're going to use them. I know, especially with being a songwriter, I mean, I can be just out at a crosswalk and I'll hear somebody talking about something and I'll like, oh, I like that phrase. Like, hey, did you see her last night? And I'm like, did you see her last night? That's a good song title. So you never know what situation you're going to be in, but taking notes is so critical.
Yeah.
Now, about the fighting, you are a world-class kickboxer, correct?
Yeah, I'm a Kung Fu professor.
Oh,
I've studied 28 different systems, and I'm a Kung Fu professor in a style called Walu, which means the pulverizing art, and Iron
wow.
Palm.
Wow.
And so I broke some world records. I've done a lot of different things, but I've been in the ring 86 times.
Wow.
And so, as a kickboxer, it's a whole different thing. I'm actually limited because they put gloves on me, whereas I use every part of my hand, and my arms and that, when I'm actually in combat. Whereas
Right.
to have a glove on my hand, you just took away 95% of my fighting ability.
Right.
You know, but
that's
yeah,
awesome.
and that helped me in my career because I started directing second unit with action.
Oh, see, that's great.
And so that's led me into getting further and then getting into the director's seat from directing second unit. The action is the most difficult to direct.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so-
Because you have to work with stunt coordinators and all that.
Yeah, and you have to have a lot of movement. You have a lot of cameras. You have a lot of things going on, and
Right.
you don't want to have injuries. That's
Yeah.
number one. You want to design everything. So I set everything up so nobody gets injured on anything. I've had 60 fighters at one time. In
Wow,
a
that's
scene.
great. That's
Yeah.
great.
So that's all, and if you advance, and then the rest comes together.
So what would you say you're most excited about for the future?
I think that bringing things closer together, there's two things I always look at. And the biggest thing in a depression or anything is two things survive. Movie and music, because I
Right.
consider them both entertainment.
Right.
And bars.
That's right. That's right.
So,
Yeah,
and the thing about entertainment, whether you're music or film, it is an international family.
That's right.
We're
We
not,
creators,
it's
we're
not
family.
about race. It's not about any
No.
color or anything. It's all about collective together as artists
Yes.
and creating things. And
Collective
that to me
awareness.
is the biggest thrill of my whole life.
So this time we're in right now with COVID and this, unprecedented time is really a time for people to come together and create new works of art, find new ways to connect with each other, wouldn't you say? And-
Anything you're doing, whether it be business, whether it be accounting, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I always say people give us all this attention all the time. Oh, you're celebrity, this and that. I want pictures with you, this and that. The biggest celebrities to me
Yeah.
are my car mechanics.
Oh,
things
yeah.
like that. Doctors and things that I couldn't come close to doing.
That's right.
I can't do anything without my car.
Absolutely.
You get a sore throat, you
Thank
need to
you,
take
guys.
something. You got to, you know what I mean? These are
Yes,
heroes
shout out
to
to
me.
our doctors and mechanics and dentists and we're just so honored to have you here, a DGA director, someone
Thank
who's
you.
really followed their dreams and put in the hard work. I know you did an interview earlier with my mom.
Yes,
and
I did.
That was just awesome. I
That's
mean,
fun.
hearing about everything, you grew up in the projects.
Yeah.
And there's no excuse in you. You just had a dream and made it happen.
That's the way it should be for everyone.
Yes.
No matter where you come from, whatever your background, you can look at it two ways. I had a brother that said, okay, he blamed not being successful on my father.
Right.
And I said, you're a grown man. Why are you blaming him now?
No.
There's no excuse for this now. I
No.
could do the same thing and sit here and woe in my pity. I took the good and enhanced it. I
That's
took
right.
the bad and knew what not to do.
And I really relate to that. I mean, I built my studio from the ground up.
See?
I have been through some really difficult things in my life, but I never made that an excuse. I actually made it more of a reason to succeed because I was like, that's not going to bring me down. I guess I kind of have a little bit of a fighter spirit too,
Well, That's a good
So-
point. You should.
so-
When you're having it really rough,
Yeah.
that's when everything
I'm like,
comes
I'm going
out.
to show you because I really feel that success is the best revenge. I feel like if someone's putting you down or you're being bullied, first of all, bullying is not okay, and I really, really will always stand up for the little guy in everything that I do, and I know you're the same way. And but it's if you can rise up and take those circumstances and make it better, then that you're just you're gonna shine even more. So.
You got to take the good, the bad, and the ugly.
That's right. And so now we're in this time of COVID. So I hope all of you guys are learning to find ways that you can create and make a difference. And remember, during these kinds of times, entrepreneurs are the ones who truly make it. They rise up, the cream of the crop. So I'm just honored to have you here today, Tommy.
Thank you.
You guys
It's a
be
pleasure.
like Tommy. Follow your dreams.